Ian or Nigel, why did you decide to create a new project?
Well, it just sort of came about in September 2020. Robert Berry was looking for his next career move, and with his manager, Nick Shilton. And they thought of me. They thought of yours truly. They gave me a call and asked me if I was interested in writing with Robert. So we had some phone calls. It worked out really good. And then the first couple songs, I was sold. I mean, I've always wanted to be in a three-piece rock band anyway, with a twist to it, not just a straight rock band, but, you know, rather than a whole pile of keyboards, guitar, bass, drums. And so, yeah, it's a dream come true. I'm really happy with this.
Yes, when you and Barry were in contact last year, how many years has passed by since you saw him for the last time?
I didn't know Robert. I knew of Robert. You know, he'd been working with Keith Emerson. He was in a band called Three with Carl Palmer. I knew of him. We did a show together in 2017 in New York City, Prague Rock Festival. He was on it. I didn't meet him then, but I saw his band. And eventually we met on the internet.
Perfect, but it's not the case of Nigel. According to the news, I checked because I read that when they contact you, Nigel was with Barry in USA, in San Francisco or something like that. No, Nigel?
Ian and Robert had written all the songs, and they'd been working together, you know, just getting ideas together and compiling tracks. And then they contacted me and said, we want you to come over and do the drums or else. So
we have a big shillelagh here.
And I went, yeah, great. I'm on my way.
Yes. Let me tell you, Nigel, that if somebody told me that you are joining the band, I will never guess that it was you, because not because of his drum or drum skills. It's because the Saxon music, because I forgot that you were part of GTR. It was more than 20 years. And I forgot, yes, and I only remember you for your job in Saxon.
Yeah. No, and you know, I'm a prog head, you know, as they call it. You know, so it's like a dream come true for me, like playing something a bit more progressive. You know, I'm not really a metal drummer, you know.
Don't tell me this. Oh.
Oh, you blew it there. He loves the band.
No, I mean, you know, I just enjoy playing. And so, I mean, it gives me, you know, something different to do, which is great, you know, because I'm constantly trying to improve my playing.
I cannot believe that you are not basically a heavy metal drummer, because when I saw Saxon in concert, the rhythm is very, very, very good. I would like to see Saxon again after the lockdown.
No, I mean, for me, it's like people ask me, like, my influence was more Bill Ward than John Bonham, because Bill Ward's a bit more jazzy, you know. That's the way I put it, you know.
Now I understand. Perfect. No problem. So let me tell you, Ian, when I started listening to the CD, I imagine asking you if you participate in the writing process, but listening, Journey to Life, the question was already answered. But tell me, when you participate in the creating process, did you give a song and Robert give another, or you create all the songs all together?
Well, most of it was me handing Robert a whole pile of ideas that I'd written. Some were refused by Saga, but I kept them because I really liked them. They weren't full songs. They were choruses, parts, licks, things, moods, sections. I gave them to Robert, and he he's a great arranger. Robert is a great arranger. He'd send them back, adding a few parts, a verse, plus full vocals. I'm not used to that. And I'd hear this idea back and I go, wow. And so the partnership has really worked out. You know, Robert has got really great arranging, songwriting chops. I'm a great, well, I mean, I got great sections and parts and stuff like that. My arranging, yeah, it's just really good with Robert. It's a really good team.
You participate with the guitar, but did you participate with some keyboards, notes or melodies or something like that?
On my demos I did that I sent him with drums, the bass part and all that stuff. Some of it was redone. Actually, a couple of things were kept. I think I'm playing bass a little bit here and there, but I'm not sure. Robert took it over, inspected it, redid it, and sent it back. So yeah, I write with all, not just guitar, though, the whole parts, you know.
Yes, listen to this CD. It's difficult to forget the Saga connection. Some of the songs could fit perfectly in a Saga CD, even when Robert Berry co-wrote the songs. Was there a song that you completely wrote?
Live Forever is all my parts, but Robert once again came in and made that a song. If you, that little 2-minute light part is, I sent to him thinking we needed another part for this song and all that. Robert made a whole song out of it. So the songs were written by Robert and myself, all of them.
When I listen a song, for example, like China, the choir is interesting because I couldn't imagine, for example, you singing in the choir. And tell me, in this case, Ian, how did you work the choir, the choral lines? How did you work it?
Well, once that was Robert in San Francisco. Robert was singing China by himself, and I was super happy with just him singing it. He's great tone, great attitude, but he wanted to know what it would sound like with a couple of female backing singers. So he had a couple of female backing singers in the area that he hired, came back and sang in the background to his chorus and stuff. That's a few times on the record that happens.
And in your case, Nigel, did you record the drums in UK or you came to USA to record the drums?
No, I came to the USA. I actually live in the USA now anyway. Oh. But no, I flew over to San Jose, where Robert's studio is, and laid the drums down there.
Does Robert tell you play this or that, or you were creative when they give you the songs?
No, I mean, the guys had a framework. I mean, Robert's not a bad drummer himself, actually. Mm-hmm. So he'd done, you know, he'd put some drum things down. But no, I mean, you know, so they were just sort of guidelines for me. So, but now I was free to do, you know, what I wanted. But obviously, I mean, you've got to play for the song, you know. So he sort of put down a sort of a bass track, if you know what I mean, a basic track. And then I sort of worked round it. So I knew what sort of feel the guys wanted for each track.
So another song is The Upside of Down. And this song is interesting because I listened that they have some guitar melodies below the vocal line. It's just like a playing or something, like in a game. It's soft. And tell me, who got the idea for this song, Ian?
It was a joint effort. It was a joint effort. These were all put together with parts that were written. And once again, Robert's arranging chops are amazing. You know, he plays the organ. I think is that the one that starts with the B3 Hammond organ, mm-hmm. And then the big guitars come in. I reckon. Yeah. Robert plays really well, though. I mean, live,
yeah,
that will be no problem. He can actually play that. And then we come in with the song. So a lot of this stuff, you know, we'd like to go out as a 3-piece as much as possible. We don't know if we'll have to add a 4th person live for maybe some vocals or just to cover a couple of things. We'll see what it sounds like in rehearsal. We'll have to have a big rehearsal for this before we go.
I have listened the CD, and the CD is a progressive rock, but it's very different from the progressive rock from 40 years ago. And for example, I think that when I start listening, there are some parts that reminds me 3. There are some moments that remind me the most modern CDs of Yes. For example, the Journey of Fly at the beginning. But I think that the catchy song is Casino. And tell me, Ian, how did you decide to insert the guitar parts in Casino?
I wrote a lot of that. When we arranged a song, you know, we came up with these parts and we got arranged. Then there was, you know, empty sections where I'm not playing anything, and I came back and do that, and, you know, just put in the right kind of stuff that I feel for that part. It is different. Yeah, it's different. I mean, this is a rock / prog band. You know, it's got a lot of flavor, especially with Nigel on drums, coming from where he does, Robert coming from Keith Emerson, Carl Palmer, and me coming from Saga, which is its own style of rock, progressive, then rock with On the Loose, and, you know, that kind of thing. It just made up this really cool style for 6x6. Very happy with it.
Yes. By the way, Nigel, now that Ian mentioned 6x6, I imagine for a moment that the name of the band came from because you play on drums and the rhythms were most of them 6x6, but not.
That's it.
I haven't heard that one before.
Yes, no, but so I read the promo, and the promo said 6x6 is something that is big, and 6x6 is a rhythm. I usually is 4x4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6x6 is a complicated rhythm, and for progressive music will be the best.
It's, I mean, 6x6 sounds a bit better than a rhythm like sort of 15/7, you know, which does exist, you know. So no, it's just a cool name, and it's, you know, we spent a long time thinking about the name.
We did, yeah. I mean, 6'6" is the length of human DNA, also.
Good.
And there's 6 of us in the band: 6 arms, 6 eyes. I won't go there. 6 feet. There's a lot of 6s involved in this band, and it wound up. But we had a bunch of other names. I won't go through them right now, but we went back to 6x6. So describes us the best.
So another song is The Last Word on Earth. And I imagine that this song could be mostly Robert Berry. Am I wrong?
Again, I mean, all the songs were written by Robert and myself.
Yes.
Robert is the main lyricist in the band. So, you know, maybe that's, you know, yeah, I could see that, you know.
I mean, he has some, you know, when he's doing lyrics, he has some really deep feelings for the lyrics, doesn't he? So
I ask because in this song, there is some part of keyboard that the sound reminds me Keith Emerson. I said, maybe this was Robert Berry who has this idea.
A little bit of that here and there on the record. I hear that too. Just little parts that ever so ELP-ish, you know. That's okay. I mean, that's what this is all brought. All these different styles. So we're coming from different areas with different things, and it's just made this 6x6 record sound the way it does.
Yeah, it's just all the sort of bringing together of all the different flavors.
Yeah. This band hasn't followed any trend or any other band or anything. So we've made our own sandwich.
And Nigel, in your case, when the lockdown start, were you in the middle of a tour, or were you in USA, UK? Tell me, what happened?
I was in the UK actually, you know, because I'd come over because, you know, we had some Saxon stuff to do. You know, it was due to festivals and stuff, and possibly some recording and stuff. And then, you know, the pandemic hit, so I got stuck.
Like the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone did, you know. But luckily, you know, because I'm a US resident, I was allowed to travel to the US.
Right.
Whereas people that weren't US residents or you know, or North American, shall we say, weren't allowed to travel.
Yes.
Yeah, we were on.
So in a way, I was very lucky that I was able to do this.
And in Ian, in 2018, you were on the Cruise to the Edge with Saga.
Yeah.
And I read that you play your farewell shows. And tell me, what is going to happen with Saga just right now? The end of Saga is a fact?
Well, the band is still touring right now. We just started touring again. I don't know about a new record or anything like that, but we're going out there and working, especially after 2 years of COVID. So, you know, the band is eager to get out there and start working. And the idea is to be twice as busy with 6x6. So I'll just live in a hotel room.
If you cannot come with Saga to Spain, I hope with 6x6,
yeah,
you can come.
That's right. We're coming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're coming.
Yes?
Spain's going to be 6x6.
Perfect, Nigel, because this was my next question. So is 6x6 so a project that is going to be on tour, alive, and we can see you live?
Yeah, that's the whole plan. This isn't a project. This is a whole band thing. And yeah, we're going to tour.
And tell me, when you were in your house, Ian, don't you think to, apart from recording Symmetry and made the arrangement that maybe were done before the lockdown, do you think of recording a new solo CD like in the 90s? Or this is, the story is finished?
Well, nothing's finished really, but you know, it's 6x6 all the way right now for me. I've been asked to do a solo record a few times, and I don't know. I'm more interested in doing music with lyrics, songs, whole vibe, rather than kind of a show-off guitar thing. You know, I mean, there's so many of those out there. You know, everyone's playing it. It's the Indy 500. You know, faster. You know, I'm really into notes that make you feel something. You know, like Jeff Beck and guys like this. You know, they make each note count rather than, you know, a blistering pile of, you know, solo. So I wasn't really thinking of doing another solo record. I mean, at this point, you know, unless I had ideas to do something a little different. And then Robert came around, and yeah, I'm super happy doing this now. This is what I want to do.
Some media say that you were influenced by Jeff Beck, but to me it was weird when I read just today that somebody said that you sound a little like Aldi Mueller. So I don't think so, but what do you think?
Well, you know, there's little elements of, you know, these guys in my style. You know, I mean, when I was growing up, I'm self-taught guitar player. I stopped pinching licks off people when I was about 15. I noticed that, you know, Jimi Hendrix, Jeff Beck, all these, they didn't sound like each other. So I thought, you know, these guys are listening to themselves. That's the lesson I'm going to take. So that's what I've done my whole life is, you know, and there, you know, there's tinges of this, tinges of that in my playing, but I don't follow anybody, you know, in particular. You know, I like John McLaughlin, you know, Alan Holdsworth, you name it, there's a pile of guitar players. But I just stick to my own style, develop my own style more, contribute to the world.
Yes.
scream, yell.
We can recognize that you have your own style, and now in 6x6 is easy to recognize. Yes, it's easy because the people who doesn't know that you are in this group, maybe if they know about guitar, they can listen and say, oh, it looks like Ian Crichton. Yes, and in your case, Nigel, Saxon released a new CD also. When you told me that the band 6x6 is going to play alive on tour, are there some concrete dates, places?
No, nothing yet. I mean, we're just looking at next year. There won't be obviously nothing this year, but we're looking at next year. So, you know, we've got to figure out both the Saga and the Saxon schedules, you know, and work, make it all work together. But you know, we're looking forward to playing live. We want to do it.
Are you planning the set list or something? Not yet.
Yes, I think it's a little bit. I mean, we have sort of talked a few things, but it's a little bit early for that yet. I mean, we'll sort of get into maybe sort of, we might get into that sort of thing in a couple of months or so, you know, start deciding what to do. I mean, there's a few tracks that Ian and Robert have written that aren't on the album.
Yeah.
So they'd be in the set. You know, I mean, we've got enough for we'd have enough for a 90-minute show, definitely.
Good. And tell me, do you still use your Soldano guitar amplifier that you bought more than 35 years ago?
I do. I don't know if you can see it right there.
Wow. It has never broken?
Yeah, it did break.
I have seen that you are still sponsored by DSL Amplification.
Diesel, yeah. That's right, Diesel. Yeah, Diesel, Soldano. And I use this thing called Amp 1 from Germany. Yeah, made by Thomas Blug. I'm
glad to see the Soldano because I think that the Soldano has a lot of stories to tell.
It does, yeah. It did a bunch of Saga records, The Human Condition with Rob Moratti. Well, actually, no, that was the Diesel amp mainly. Human Condition, yeah. Anyway, they're both great amps, so I'm gonna use them. With a Marshall 412 cabinet, vintage 30 Celestrian speakers, a little bit more bottom to them.
Okay, so Nigel, thank you very much for your time. Ian, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you for having me.
I enjoyed this conversation. Nigel, if I knew that you were here, I will buy something to ask you about your drums and what is your favorite.
I've signed now with British Drum Company. It was a no-brainer, really. And I stay with, I've been with Paisley Cymbals for 40 years.
This last June tour with Saga I just finished. Our drummer was supplied with British Company drums.
And I use dualist pedals.
Thank you very much, Ian and Nigel, for your time. I enjoy the CD. It's really good, extraordinary. Yes. Great. Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll see you.
Have a nice weekend.
Okay.
We'll see you in Spain.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista. Ciao.